think we're started. There we go. Hey everybody, Josh Brown here, managing editor with Geist Magazine. We're hanging out today at Sundae's Homemade Ice Cream over here in Geist, right near Lawrence, kind of hanging out with co-owner Steve Buckner and Myra Buckner. Guys, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Josh. It's good to see you.
Yeah, so we're just hanging out. Those of you who haven't been to Sundae's before, you're missing out. First off, you need to get down here and get some ice cream because it's amazing. It's delicious. But we just did a story on you guys for Geist Magazine. You actually see here on our cover here of our September issue. That'll be hitting mailboxes later this week. What do you guys think about the cover? You think that turned out pretty well?
Cover looks great.
Not too bad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love the cherry on top.
Yes. Thought that was catchy.
Yeah.
So we've got Sundae's on the cover this month. September issue of Geist Magazine will be hitting mailboxes later this week. So look for that story online. Steve, maybe just take us through a little bit of the history of Sundae's here, because it's 23 years now for you guys this year in the Geist area. Take me back to 1995 and you and your brother David kind of jumping off and wanting to start this business here.
Well, that's right. Here at this location, we go back 23 years, but it really started all prior to that. My father owned a restaurant in Glendale Shopping Center called Swenson's, and they did homemade ice cream and served sandwiches and food. And my brother and I worked for him, and when my father retired, we took over and scouted around for a location for about a year and settled on this spot. We decided to get away from food and kind of more fine-tune just ice cream and coffee, because coffee was starting to get popular at that time. So we thought we'd fuse the two, and here we are 23 years later after planning the first store.
Yeah. Could you have ever imagined, looking back now, how popular it would be and where you're at 23 years later?
No, it is amazing to be here for 23 years.
And family owned too.
Very fortunate and very blessed for the longevity of our business.
Yeah.
We get a lot of people from the community. I think people recognize us now, and they continue to support us.
Well, and it's packed. I mean, if you come in here after 5 o'clock after work most days, there's a line out the doors. It's packed on the benches here and inside. I mean, it's one thing to just be family owned and create something, but to have it be, catch on and be successful and people really enjoy the ice cream, it's got to be great for you guys to see that.
Well, absolutely. That's always been our goal, is to to make the very best ice cream possible. We talk about that a lot. We're going to source our ingredients and taste testing and working with local chefs to create flavors for them too.
Yeah. Well, Myra, maybe tell us a little bit. Obviously, you're events coordinator, but you do wear a lot of different hats behind the scenes, operations-wise. Take me through a little bit. People come in and they see the ice cream in the tubs. They probably don't realize the entire process that goes into making homemade ice cream. So maybe give us a behind-the-scenes look each morning, what it looks like for you guys, maybe how many gallons of ice cream you're putting out each week. What does that look like?
Yes. Well, I think on average daily we do 100 gallons.
Wow.
Daily. In the back manufacturing.
Wow.
And it's a really labor-intensive job. So people,
of course,
like you said, when you say homemade, they don't really realize what that goes into that. They think of the old crank. But we work many hours in the back of the house.
Almost, I would kind of say, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I would almost say like artisanal, because each batch, you have four tubs that come out at a time, and you reset and you go again and again and again and again. So
lengthy process.
You might be running 3 batches of, say, butter pecan, but they're all going to vary each batch from the previous one just by a little bit.
Right.
But it is very artisanal.
Yeah. And I always suggest when people come in to sample, because every day there'll be 4 or 5 new flavors that rotate out. Mm-hmm. And we specialize in changing the flavors up and keeping it new and making seasonal flavors. And
that keeps people coming back for more too when there's something new to try.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we saw your daughter in here working obviously earlier too. I'm sure you guys probably get a lot of high school to college age folks working in here.
And we even have even the kids that started with us 23 years ago, they still pop in or comment, and always a really fond high school memory.
Probably coming back with their kids now too.
Yes, and we just had a bunch of kids go off to college, and they always want to come back. So we've been very fortunate that way, that we don't have to, have trouble staffing our facility, and everyone's very friendly, and social media really shows that also, the staff, and that we feel like that's important too. We do are busy, but we have enough people on staff to take care of the crowds and make it go quickly.
Yeah.
And we've been really fortunate that we've been able to hire the cream of the crop from the high schools around here. I mean, we had a couple of valedictorians working for us, a whole bunch of top 20s, so we've got really sharp kids.
Yeah, they really enjoy it, obviously.
And all our kids work here too. A couple of mine have, one's out of state, but they've all grown up working at the shop, and some are still working here. Steve has 3 boys that work in the house.
Two are in college, and they work here, and the other one's in high school, and we make them work here.
Of course. They don't have the option, but they probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, talk about the flavors some, because we were talking about some of our favorites earlier.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of the butter pecan, and Graham Central Station obviously is a huge flavor. What's your guys' favorite flavors?
What's yours, Steve?
Oh, I would go for the key lime pie all the time.
Okay. I haven't tried the key lime
absolutely.
yet. I'll have to try that.
I have like 7 number 1 favorites.
They change every week.
Well, depending what we have out.
You just always want something available.
Yeah.
That's
Raspberry Rumple's probably my top favorite.
Okay.
And Nuts and Bolts and Sunday's Tracks, and
Yeah.
it's just chocolate cinnamon churro too.
Yeah. Well, I was saying earlier, my daughters are a pretty big fan of the blue vanilla, which is pretty interesting. My wife's always been a big mint chocolate fan. She's always got to get hot fudge on top of it, like a mini sundae with mint chocolate. So the flavors are amazing. The ice cream is always fantastic. Maybe talk to us a little bit, Steve, and both of you can chime in. You talked some about the coffee aspect. Talk a little bit more about that, because that's pretty unique for an ice cream place to come in and be able to get not just a normal cup of coffee. I mean, you guys are just like the ice cream. You're making some really interesting flavors. They're delicious as well. So give us a little more background on how you guys came up with that idea and the flavors for the coffee.
Well, I started roasting in-house 15, 16, 17 years ago. We used to purchase our beans through other roasters, but I was never completely satisfied with what I was getting. I was getting good product, but I just wanted to be more selective and roast what I wanted to. But we roast a couple times a week. We have a roaster. It's a drum-fired roaster. Roast about 15 pounds of beans at a time. We usually carry 9 or 10 varietals from different countries and some blends. And then the other half of our beans are flavored. We have some unique flavors like the Highlander Grog, which is a hazelnut caramel butterscotch combo, and the Jamaican Me Crazy is very popular too.
Right.
Yeah, that's a scotch and a liqueur and a vanilla. And then we'll do some seasonal coffee flavors too.
Well, and what's nice when you come in too, you can see the bucket, so you can buy the beans and coffee and have it yourself at home, which is pretty nice.
We sell quite a bit of beans that way.
Really?
We have people that get hooked, and then every week.
I have a large. I definitely have a large wholesale bean following.
Okay.
I even roast for some churches, local churches too.
And you even do special orders for people.
Right.
If they have a particular flavor, then you'll
do a special order for them.
Well, yeah, I'll frequently have people come in and want a real obscure flavor, like I know we did that blueberry.
Yes.
Blueberries and cream for somebody last week.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting. Well, you talked some about churches, a little bit about the community. Maybe give us some insight into how you guys stay involved with the community. I'm sure there's been fundraisers here over the years with school clubs and teams and things like that. So how do you guys stay involved in the community around here?
Well, probably our highest profile event that we do would be our Spirit Night or our Dime to Donate, where the school or the organization will come in and they get a generous portion of the sales that they generate goes back to their school or organization. So we do those a lot. We
work with the high schools, and
we probably gave out thousands of scoop cards last year to cross country teams, swim teams. Mount Vernon back to school. I think it's the teacher that wants to give every incoming 8th grader a scoop card. So
that's not too bad.
We do a lot with just about any charity organization right here in the area.
So that's incredible. Well, talk to me a little bit. I mean, we talked a little bit about reflecting on 23 years, coming up on 25 in a couple of years. When you look back on all that, what is, as far as legacy, what does that mean to you guys?
Well, first, it really went by fast. As far as legacy, I think we just like to be a good steward for the community, and I think this is the first job for a lot of kids in high school, and just showing them the principles of work and
we're a team effort. Like we couldn't have got where we are today without all the team Sunday's employees, which are they're wonderful.
So it's kind of like we get an opportunity to prepare them for the rest of their lives too. think that was very important.
Yeah, awesome. Anything else you want to add there, Myra?
Oh, no, I just think it's very important to, turn out a good product to the community.
Sure.
Our ice cream tastes so delicious and it's so creamy. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And people come in that all of a sudden they smell that coffee and they're like, it smells so good in here. And it's a happy place. So when anyone comes in, they're usually always in a good mood because it's a destination.
Or we'll put them in a good mood. But
yeah.
Right.
Either way, I couldn't imagine, not being happy after you've come here.
Right.
It's not like going to the bank or the dentist or
Right.
Definitely not.
any of those places.
Well, awesome. Well, guys, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate the time. Again, for those of you who haven't been to Sundae's, surely you have by now. But if you haven't, you need to stop by and get some ice cream. Come by in the morning and grab some coffee as well, because that's delicious too. And thanks again to Steve and Myra for joining us. And look out soon for this story on our Geist Magazine Facebook and Twitter pages and online at geist.com. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks.